Hello and welcome to vlog number 2 in our fundraising campaign for the Swing Machine Jazz Orchestra 10th anniversary recording project. Thank you to those of you who have pre-ordered the album already. It means a huge amount to us, and please, if you haven't done so, please do consider getting involved. You will not be disappointed. It's going to be an absolutely incredible album with so many musicians benefiting. It's going to be really, really wonderful. Today we're going to feature one of our commissioned composers, Karen Street, who is an accordionist, a jazz accordionist, which is quite rare, saxophone player, composer and arranger. I caught up with her in lockdown 3 just to see what she was up to and to ask her a little bit about the piece that she has written for us. So Karen, welcome. Thank you so much for being here and chatting to me. What have you been up to? How are you coping with lockdown number 3?
Yes, well, I've taken a big chunk out of my busy schedule here to speak to you, of course.
So tell us about the piece. What was the concept? Where did you start? What was your inspiration for this piece?
Okay, so actually it came from the first lockdown. I have a tango band and we play piazzolla music, some originals, and a lot of music by a composer called Saul, I think it's Saul Cosentino, who I discovered. And so, of course, everybody had lots of energy in the first lockdown and everybody was doing lots of videos and recordings. And I thought, oh, well, I must write a piece for that band. And I didn't write a very long one. It was just something sort of quite short. And we had dancers and they choreographed something and we put it on a video. And so when you asked me about a big band piece, and possibly something with the accordion, I thought that maybe it would be a good idea to expand that one because that maybe won't go any further than that and it would be good to get it played. So originally, I did just have an idea. The opening just came as an idea. And as with most of the things I write, I start something and then I just kind of see where it goes. And it usually comes quite quickly, and I have to say then the process of reworking this for a big band and then adding another section was really much more challenging, so that was really good for me. I struggled so because it feels like it was an entity in itself, and then I had to really try and get more into it. So that was, but I am happy with it now, and I think it really works. And then the title, it means a different moment, and it's kind of just that. I was just looking for something. Well, this was a different time of our lives, and it connected the accordion and the tango feel. It's not really. It starts off as a sort of tango opening, and then it's almost Latin samba type,
Well, I'm quite excited about it because it's going to be something quite different, and that's sort of I suppose the title says it all really. But that's sort of what I had in mind that putting this project together was to do things that are a bit more personal to all of the people in the band and the band as a whole, and trying to do something that is not just the normal thing. Actually, I was going to ask about the accordion. I can't possibly speak to you without mentioning the accordion. Obviously, I know you as a saxophone player as well, but many people obviously seeing this and maybe hearing the disc will, hopefully a lot of people will know of you and what you do, but many people will not have heard the accordion in a jazz context before. So I was wondering how can we introduce that to them listening to?
I guess it is a big world out there. It's like anything else once you delve into it, and especially maybe before the internet and when I started composing and playing, there was vinyl and there was a lot of that, of course, but there just weren't so many now. And then when the internet came along, there was you go to Europe, there are lots of great accordion players, but I think a lot of them play a lot of crossover styles because of the nature of the instrument. There's probably, I think the sort of pure jazz players were more in the 1950s where it was the golden age of the accordion, and many American players playing. The guy in this country is Jack Embler, which people may not have heard of, but he did all the sessions and he would be on any TV programs that you would hear at that time. But he's a great jazz player, and I've always listened to him. Frank Morocco, another guy, he's not alive anymore, and I managed to meet him. But yeah, he again on all the American TV sessions, but he's a great jazz player. Richard Galliano, of course, he spans all the styles. He sort of did more of the musette jazz. He's more well known for that, but a phenomenal virtuosic player. And I think that's the thing, you get very different, I suppose, like any instrument, it's very different stylistically. In the 50s, it was a very, there was a particular way of playing it. It was influenced by bebop, you'd hear bebop lines, but also like a bit like the organ playing very harmonized solos as well under the fingers, which is not done so much today. And then, of course, now you've got a lot of Brazilian players because the accordion has always been a staple part of Brazilian music, always. And now Brazilian players are starting to mix that up, the Brazilian music and the jazz. And so that, yeah, there's many players out there if you just have a little search.
I remember you talking to me from a compositional point of view and saying, asking what you were up to, and you saying, well, Ed, I'm doing loads of listening at the moment. I just, I've got lots of writing coming up that I need to do, commissions and so on and so forth. And I need to get some inspiration for that. And at the time, actually, I don't think I specifically said this to you, but I sort of thought, well, that's interesting because surely if you're composing, it's all coming out of your head. You don't need to go away and do any listening. And I think that sort of affected the way I think about composition. I mean, I need a very small amount of composition, but when I do, that's always affected the way that I think about it. So I was interested to know whether there was anything in particular that you were listening to when you were writing this piece for the big band, or alongside that, my favorite question is, what are you listening to at the moment? Always comes out with so many interesting things. I'll ask anybody that just to find something new. Yeah.
So which question shall I answer first? Do you mean about
any of them?
Okay, well, yeah, it is all interesting that, because after all, what we do write is never really original in a sense, is it? I don't know. It's maybe people can be unique, and you obviously hear people and you think, well, I've never heard anything like that before, and that is really, they push the boundaries. I think what I probably do is, my head is a melting pot of all the things I've heard in the past, I suppose, and then I do try to take things in a slightly different direction than actually Chris Biscoe. It's funny how you remember things, what people saying to you. I remember asking Chris Biscoe about improvising once, and he said, well, I have an idea in my head, and then I try not to do it. So he probably can't remember that, but he'll think, oh, I'm going to play that. No, I'm not, and go off, and that's why his playing is so amazing. But I think the thing about the accordion is that I was thinking about that the other day, that it is in so many different styles of music that I end up listening or being involved in projects that spans a very large variety of music. So, I will be playing classical music in an orchestra, but it could be something quite contemporary, it could be something original, and then I can be playing in a tango band, then I can be playing in a jazz group, and then in a ceilidh. So it's so mixed up. So maybe that's part of it. And what I'm listening to at the moment, well, it's really difficult because I've found a little bit that I can't listen to music because it makes me very sad. Okay, so I know a lot of people have said that I think it's because you feel you're missing it so much. So I think, I kind of looking at all my vinyl records and putting some old stuff on, like really dated pop stuff as well, just to kind of cheer me up. Stevie Wonder and, I don't know, just, Earth, Wind and Fire, all that sort of stuff.
Fantastic. I think the trouble is we're hearing all that stuff all the time usually, but not in its original form. So it's actually, again, look for the positives. It's great to go and revisit it, isn't it? I think. Brilliant. Karen, thank you so much for your time. It's been really nice to speak to you, and really nice to hear some thoughts from you, and good to see that it looks like you're thriving and keeping busy at least, and doing some writing and all the rest of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.